Who's the meanest? Most likely to get into a fight. Most emotional. Most likely to do weird things in public. Most likely to get pregnant after a one-night stand. Who catches feelings quickest? Most likely to break someone's heart. Who's the funniest?
Hey y'all, it's Sparkle, and welcome back to Sparkle Speaks, where we put our purpose in place to allow our calling to draw you through content. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and invite them in. Today, y'all, this is a special episode because I have my sisters here. We are known as the Dudley sisters. People tend to call us that. And we have...
I'm Christa.
I'm Bo.
And it's also special because I didn't tell them what the topic of this episode was. We were actually on our way here, and Bo was like, what's the topic? I'm like, you'll find out when we get there. So, like I said in the beginning from the very first episode that, I pray for the topics because I don't ever want it to come from me. I want it to always come from God, because if we're going to draw you, it has to be God-led. So God gave me, for you guys, it won't always be like this. And as I was in prayer, he gave me two scriptures. The first scripture was Jeremiah 1:5. And he said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And the second scripture was Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plan that I have for you. And the crazy thing about it is, I spoke about it in the very first episode, how mommy had us in church when we was kids, from Sunday to Sunday. And y'all can attest to it. I think Christa probably, I don't want to say you hated it the most, but you... Christa, they always call Christa the mean sibling, like the mean child. Like, she always had a mean look on her face. She was not with it. She never would be with it. Bo, when we was kids, you was just with whatever, right? You always wanted to go to church, right?
Yeah.
It was more so Christa. Yeah. Why are you looking at her like that?
I like church.
I'm talking about when we was kids, like, cause we used to go like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I mean, I
Friday.
had no choice. I'll get the whooping.
And then when we used to go with our granddad, they went to church on Saturdays. So sometimes we went every day of the week, right?
I didn't go there. So.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did.
I used to be with mommy when y'all go.
Girl, so you remember Georgie, Freedom? Yeah, you went on Saturdays, and we had to do the march in the church. We used to have to do, but we weren't kids when we went to church. We weren't kids that we just went to kids and sat on the bench or sat in the chair. No, we were singing, we were dancing, praise dancing, Tarrying. Oh, let us not get in trouble. Oh, we calling on Jesus. We had a little 3-way group. Did we have a name?
No.
We didn't have a name.
No, we just...
Krista was the lead singer. Me and Bo was the background. Bo...
I would tell people that I'm the lead and they're my background singers.
First of all...
I wonder what they...
Did they
call us the Dudley sisters?
No.
When we would like sing at funerals and stuff? I don't know.
We did. We used to sing at funerals. We used to sing at church.
Dance.
We used to dance. We did used to dance.
I didn't dance.
You didn't?
No.
When we went to TIOC, you did dance.
For a little bit.
Mommy made you dance. Mommy made you dance. The crazy thing about it is, singing, I think, was more of Krista's passion, Christa and Bo's passion. My passion was more of praise dancing. And anybody that knew me, I was a praise dancer. And it's crazy because when I was a kid, I had to audition to praise dance. And the crazy thing about it is, it really hurt my feelings because I didn't make the dance team. She told me I wasn't ready. And I feel like that was my first rejection in the church, and it hurt my feeling, and it kind of discouraged me, and I was like, wow, like I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that I didn't have that personality to where like, because one person tell me no, I'm just gonna give up on it. Because I kept going, and I actually ended up going to Togetherness and Love Community. Me and my sisters, we used to go there for after school program, and the pastor there actually put me, and rest in peace to Mother Parham, she put me the head of the dance ministry, and that brought my confidence up there. It brought my confidence out, and I was able to practice and get better at it and things like that. And I had my sister, so it was like I was the praise director, well, the choreographer. They would be dancer, and we had other dancers. And then when we would sing, Christa would be the lead, and Bo would actually try to tell us our notes as if she knew the notes. Like, girl, you don't know. You don't know, girl, please. So yeah, we used to go to church from Sunday to Sunday. How you felt about that, Bo?
Like I said, I feel like we didn't have a choice. So, I mean, we didn't know nothing else. Like, we wasn't in the world. True. And when we did like go other places, it was cool. But church was, what's the word? It was something that we knew. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It was a part of our daily schedule.
So we didn't think that it was off. The routine, that's what the word. We didn't think it was off. Right. So if somebody else would be like, oh, what you doing? We were like, oh, we going to church on a Friday. We'd be like, what? Mm-hmm. After school. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually was ready to go. Sometimes I would make it seem like I wasn't, but I wanted to go. Yeah. Get us out the house.
For real.
Because if we wasn't at church,
she didn't let us go nowhere. Mm-hmm. My mom did not play that. We could not go nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like, and I actually thank her for that now looking back, because had she not been the parent that cared, not only cared, but like protected us, we probably would have been way far left. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Christa, what you think about us going to church? Because we never even sat down and talked about us going to church all the time.
Actually, like, church back then, growing up, it was honestly fun. Though.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Especially like when the stuff that we used to do for the youth, Hawley Street, double dutching, like church, you wanted to go to church.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you wanted to be there. And even the kids out there we used to live and at the school, we used to tell them, we going to church. Us. Y'all want to go with us? And they would go with us, and then they would want to come back with us.
Yeah. So why you was always looking mean then?
That is just her.
Sunday to Sunday and going to school. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. But, you know, once you got there, you woke up.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They'll make you stand up.
Mm-hmm.
No, for real.
Yeah, don't fall asleep at church.
Yeah. And then there came a time where, we went to church, and then it was actually, we had one night we left church, and we actually were at Mommy's friend house, and we were upstairs with her daughter. We were playing with her daughter, and all of a sudden we hear screaming. So we run downstairs, and I was 12 years old at the time. Bo, how old were you? 10. Christa, you was?
I was 8.
8? Mm-hmm. We just hear screaming. We run down the stairs, and my mom is just wailing. She's screaming. She's crying. And we found out my brother died. He was in a tragic car accident. And I feel like from that day forward, our lives changed forever. My mom, she lost her first child, and I felt like in that moment, me being 12 years old, my mom, she ended up falling into a deep depression, and I felt like it fell on me to be strong for my siblings. And I don't fault my mom. I wasn't angry at my mom. We were kids, you know, and we don't know how it feels to lose a child. So like now, us being grown now and who we are now, you know, I look back at it, and my mom, she did all she could for us. And thank you. She did all she could, but I felt like I needed to, you know, our lives had changed in that moment, and we had to grow up. And I felt like I became like the mother, the protector. Bo became
the cook.
Dang, I was gonna say
the maid.
I was gonna say that. Like, Bo became the cook. She did. She became the cook. Christa was just mean. I'm sorry, y'all. Christa was mean. She did not talk. When I tell you she didn't talk, she would just sit there and she would just be mean. Like, you would try to talk to her, she would look straight. She wouldn't turn. She wouldn't look. She just would be mean. So it was like I was protected. Bo was the cook, and Christa would just sit there. And then we had our younger brother. He was 3 or 4. Israel was 3. Israel was 3 at the time. Mm-hmm. And we had Israel running around the church, running around the house. It was his church.
He was preaching,
mm-hmm. Banging on the pots, banging on pans, making his pulpit. So while I'm being a protector, Bo being the cook, Christa looking straight, Christa was telling Israel to shut up. Because he would be like, you're going to hell. And Christa would be like, shut up. Yeah. So our household, like, though we had a loss, like, it was still fun, it was still lovable, it was still nurturing, because we all had our own separate identities. We all pretty much was able to still love on each other through the hurt, the pain. And then 11 months after that, our grandmother passed. So it was like our family was taking hit after hit after hit. And through it all, you know, God kept us. And then we got older. When I left my house,
I left too.
Christa came with me. Bo, what was you doing?
Getting my own house.
When I moved out the house?
Yeah, I was on Lexington, wasn't I?
No, when I left, Christa was 16. You was what, 17?
17. I just had.
So you just had Jalea. She just had her first baby. And Christa was like, you ain't leaving me here. Christa was not with it. You was trying to, why you wanted to come with me?
Because I didn't want to be in the house. I didn't want to be in the house.
But you was 16. You ain't have to be in the house at the time.
You had a car.
That I did. When I turned 18, I bought my first car. So yes, I did. And Bo, you always been you was in your own little world. Christa more so.
Yeah, I just
Bo
had a
had her
under
family.
Me. Oh yeah,
she had her family.
She did.
Believe. Yeah, what was her family?
So yeah, I guess
you did have a little family back then, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then around that time, that's when we stopped going to church as much as we used to. Mm-hmm. Once I got older. And Christa came with me. We would still go to church, but it wasn't as much. Like, we would go every Sunday, sometimes on Fridays, but it wasn't as much. And then I started to like drift away and club. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What y'all doing all that? Started to go to the club, you know, a little bit. And Christa, what you was doing when I was at the club?
At home, because she could club with you.
She couldn't, but
yes, I was.
You didn't go to the club with me.
You was in there telling the people. She's only
what I did? Hold on, you gotta bring
Why would you tell them that if you stuck me in?
I did that?
When?
Bo, you wasn't with us. She lived with me.
Never go to the club with you.
How you know? We didn't tell you everything.
I'm not gonna name the club.
I'm trying to tell you. She gave when.
You was a hater. You just mad you couldn't club with
honey,
us.
I was in the clubs. I need you. I was of age.
No, you wasn't.
Yeah, I was.
Anyways.
According to the fake ID.
Not according to the fake ID, but yes, I, did a little clubbing, and I kind of drifted away, but I still, went to church and everything like that. But I'm actually glad now that mommy instilled that in us, because, once I was out there and when I felt like I was tired, I knew where to go back to, what was instilled in me as us being kids. So, God told me, like, you can only run for so long. And just like he told me that, I'm telling y'all that. Y'all can only run for so long. So my question to y'all is, what is holding y'all right now in this moment from literally surrendering, giving God your total yes? Yes, y'all go to church. Don't get me wrong. Y'all got your own relationship with God. I know this. Bo, you're a prayer warrior. I do know that. But, you haven't got your total yes yet. So what do you feel like is like the stumbling block in your path right now?
I wouldn't say it's a stumbling block. I know. Okay, so for me, a couple years back, God told me to trust him. And because I was going through so much stuff, and he said to trust him, and if I didn't trust him, then I would never get out of it. And because I came out of it, so I know for a fact that I still have a drink here and there, or I'll still go out to the club with my friends or something like that. But for me, the reason why I still go to church and I know who I am, because God know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't never say God knows my heart and I can still do this, that, and the third. I just know that when God has put in my heart to stop everything completely, then he will. I can't force it upon myself, because then I feel like I will stumble back. So, like, with your journey, people probably around us would think like, okay, we will follow in your footsteps, but that's your journey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, oh, okay, I'm about to follow her, I'm about to copy her, because, that's the right thing to do.
Right. I
have to wait for God to put it in my heart to surrender all.
Right.
But I have to trust him, and I do trust him. And, when he decides to take everything from me, and, the drinking or even going out and finding my path of how to maneuver through life without the worldly stuff, then he will. I just have to find it for myself.
But are you seeking it? Like, are you looking for it? So it's like you saying, like, if God want to take it from you, you know what I'm saying? He gives us the choice. Choose thee this day who you're going to serve. So it's like he's giving us the choice. He's not going to force you or take nothing from you. He's waiting for you, or he's giving you the choice to make up in your mind when you're ready to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think that God is gonna be like, oh yeah, let me, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it'll be like a situation that you in, or there's a situation that's gonna happen, and God is gonna give that, like, okay, you're gonna be like, well, dang, maybe this is God. This is a sign that God is telling me I need to do it. You know what I'm saying? He's giving me the choice whether I'm going to continue to stay in what I'm doing, or I'm going to...
If I look at it like that, I feel like it's coming. It's close. Because I used to drink Hennessy straight, out the bottle. Never had a chaser. and I used to party every weekend. And it wasn't my kids that stopped me. Like, you know, obviously I take care of my kids, but stopping me from going out all the time wasn't my kids. I feel like it just gradually, like, I've been stopping.
It happened.
Yeah. So I do feel like it's coming, because like now I probably drink wine here and there. And I'll go out to like a concert or two on occasion with my girlfriends or something like that. But other than that, I don't really do a lot of stuff that I used to do.
Right.
But if I look at it like that, it's gradually coming.
Right. Christa, what's your take? What you think is, in this moment right now, what you feel like is holding you back in this moment?
I wouldn't say holding me back. It's kind of like what both said. Well, sort of. Like, as we got older, like you said, we pulled away from church, and I know I did. I'm getting myself back in there, though. So it's just, God is working on me.
That's good. That's good.
God is working on me. I'm finding Christa all over again.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm just seeing what God has in store for me. Yeah.
That's good. And I do remember when you came to church the first Sunday of this year, and the day before that you asked me, had I received my tongues yet?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but it's not like I don't do it out loud to where like people can hear me. Like, I don't know how to, like, for me, I can't just, you know how some people will just start speaking in tongues it just comes out. Like, I can't do that. It doesn't happen like that for me. Like, I have to be like really caught up in the spirit, and then that's just when it comes out. But for you, when you came to church that very first Sunday, that next day, when you asked me, that next day you came to church, and you was speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
First, you was at church? Girl, what happened? I came to Christa to come up and get prayer, and she was one of her mean moments. One of her mean moments, she was rejecting me. She was like, no. She sat in that chair and was like, I'm not moving. I said, Christa, everything that you were going in 2024, we not carrying it into 2025. This year, you know what I mean? We want God to do exceeding abundantly for us in our life. And I just felt like in that moment, I wanted her to go up there to get prayer so she can release everything that first Sunday in the year, so she can have, you know, a prosperous, the happiest year that she's had. And she was telling me no. And it's crazy because Deacon Mickles was like, get her, Sparkle. Yeah, get her, Sparkle. I'm like, come on, Christa. I literally was pulling her. She finally gave in. She walked up there. And you can tell the rest of the story. When you got up there, what did you do?
I still had attitude. I had my arms folded. I just didn't want to. Like, I just didn't want to be up there.
In that moment, you didn't feel the need to let go, or you just was like, whatever, I don't need to do this?
Both. Like, I just didn't want, like, kind of like deal with it. I just didn't want to deal with it. And then got up there, and then Mother Hartsville, she's like, come here. So I'm like, oh my God, I want to go sit down. So she started praying, and she was like, you know, the sermon Bishop Hartsville was talking about, he's talking about you, ain't he? So I'm like, yeah. So then she was like, it's heavy. Yeah. And then she was like, you got to release it. And then she was like, wave your hands. and say I'm free. I didn't do it. I wouldn't say it was like me being disobedient. It's just, I just didn't do it. And then she was like, you gotta let it go. And I began to cry. And then you came over and you was saying the same thing and you was hugging me, but I don't know, it was just, I would not wave my hands. And then as they began to pray, like, I started hearing God talk to me, and he was saying, like, I got you. And then it was like one of the things, like, just releasing. I felt like I wasn't ready for, like, I don't know, I kind of felt like if I release it, like, am I gonna be okay? I was familiar with that, you know. And he was like, I got you. I got you. And I just felt like I started feeling light. I started feeling like I can breathe. And I didn't wave my hands, but I was saying I'm free. But when I was opening my mouth, I was speaking in tongues. I had never spoken tongues before. It scared me. I was trying to, like, close my mouth, and God wouldn't allow me to close my mouth. And I just, it was me just, you know, crying out and releasing. I don't feel like I'm running from it. I want it. It's just, you know, I'm just seeing what God has in store for me.
So what you doing to see what he got for you? Like, I'm confused. You enlighten me a little bit.
I don't go to church every Sunday. I will go, you know, I will go. And that's, like, one of the things that I'm starting to do, to see what God has in store for me. I had stopped going to church. Y'all know that. Y'all will go to church. Y'all will always try to get me to go to church. I'm going back to church more, reading my Bible. I want to start, you know, y'all do the fasting and stuff like that. I don't really do it. I want to start there too, fasting and things like that. Like, even when I'm feeling discouraged, I will pray. Like, sometimes I would just be like, if I'm riding the car, God, please help me. I need you to do this. But now it's really me, like, praying. It was just me just asking him, like, oh, I need you to help me. I need you to, something got to give, God. But no, it's like really talking to him.
Yes. And this episode here is so special to me, for me, because this is actually, I want to say, our first time, correct me if I'm wrong, that the three of us are sitting down and having a civilized conversation. A conversation where, like, we're, like, able to talk about everything and lay everything out on the table. Like, there was times that we would fight, and we was just talking about this the other day, how Bo he talking about we jumped her, like,
we did not,
and we didn't.
No, y'all tried to jump me.
We didn't even try.
Yeah, y'all tried, but y'all failed. But go ahead.
We didn't try to jump
yes,
you.
I did. But
We didn't try to jump you, but one thing that I do like was when we did fight, we wouldn't talk for a long time, but let one of us be in a problem. We calling, like, and we probably didn't talk for about 6 months. Remember the time when I think it was, I don't know, it was Christa. Me and Christa was on the outs at the time. And Christa had got into something, or somebody wanted to fight Christa or something, and me and Christa wasn't talking, but you called me and we went up to Basil.
Wait,
we all met at Basil, but whoever Christa was supposed to be fighting never showed up.
Because I fought her the next day.
Who did you?
That's what you talk about?
No.
Remember I fought that girl the next day?
That wasn't that.
Oh.
It wasn't that.
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about. And me and you wasn't
about.
talking. And then I tried to come talk to you, and Chris's mean self would not talk to me. I tried to be the bigger person and go talk to her, and she would not talk to me. But I was like, girl, I done came all the way out here to fight for you. You still won't talk to me. Like, she was able to hold a grudge. Yes, I tried to talk to her.
Yeah.
And
we all wrote up separately.
Yes, because me and Christa wasn't talking, but me and you was talking, and he was like, "We need to go out there because somebody about to play Christa." So I'm like, "I'm on my way." We get out there. The people didn't show up, and Christa still wouldn't talk to me. So I'm writing for you, and you still mad at me? Like, what?
I appreciate it though, but I was mad.
The crazy thing about it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the crazy thing about it, when we on the outs, we still protect each other. We still there for each other. And I was on the phone with Candace the other day, and I was talking about doing this podcast with my siblings. And I was telling her, and I was like, I don't want to go into detail about everything I'm going to say, but Candace is really like my go-to now. Like, I talk to her every day. We talk every day. So I was like, I have a special connection with all my siblings. Like, we all have our own personal relationship. And I was like Christa always like was under me. Like, you was always like at my hip, under me. Like, you wouldn't go nowhere. Like, it was like whatever I did, you did. You was like my twin a little bit, but you was the youngest sibling. Me and Bo, and I'm talking to Candace, and I'm like, dang, Candace, I cannot figure out how me and Bo were when we were kids. And it kind of hurted my feelings because I'm like, I know Christa was under me. I know I had Israel, but Israel was always a little younger than us. So I looked at Israel when we lost our brother. I'm like, I felt like I had to become the mom. And so I looked at Israel like, oh, that's my son. You know what I mean? Like, I had to protect Israel because he was our only brother. And I was like, I cannot remember, with me and Bo. But then I kind of got emotional because I'm like, where was Bo at? But then I'm like, you know what? We may not have had a connection when we were little kids. I felt like once we grew up, our connection started, and I don't want to say it's sad because it's better late than never, but our connection came during the pandemic, when you called me and you was like, can I quarantine at your house? Because I don't want to be by myself.
Shut up about the baby.
And she came to my house, and she stayed with me, almost 3 months.
The whole pandemic.
I was making that money too.
She stayed with me the whole time. And I felt like that's when we got our connection. Like, our sister bond, our sister connection, because when I moved out of mommy's house, Christa came with me. So I was with Christa all the time. But you was never really around me like that. So I felt like God allowed that to happen for me and you to draw closer as sisters. Mm-hmm. And he did that not only with you staying at my house, but we were able to create the Pixie Dust group. And from that Pixie Dust group, I knew my sister knew how to pray. Because we would go live in the Facebook group, every night, and Bo would pray them people down. Okay, you would not even think we were in a pandemic the way Bo would pray in that group. And it was so crazy because people would tell, like, they would see me out and they would be like, y'all going live tonight, right? Because your sister be praying. Like, I be needing y'all to go live. I be needing y'all to. And I felt like in that moment, we was really like surrendering our life to God by default, because we were in the house. We could not go nowhere. And that was the only thing that we could do. You know what I'm saying? Was pray and look to God and talk amongst each other and gain our relationship. And it's so crazy because you used to pray them people down. But once the pandemic let up, I felt like the distraction came in and we kind of like drifted apart a little bit. And I just feel like we need to do that pixie dust group again. I'm saying, you ready to pray down? Like,
sure.
Even when I did the prayer in the park, like, people was like, "Oh, you gonna be praying?" I said, "Oh no, I got people for that. My sister gonna pray. My little brother gonna pray." Because I feel like, and I have to stop doing that too. Like, feeling like how I pray to God is not how you're supposed to pray, because I think that there's no right or wrong way to pray. But like, I just feel like when you pray, it's like, it's so powerful. And it's like, not only, I feel like when I pray, it's like a prayer to me and God. But I feel like when you pray, it's a prayer for like the masses to hear. You know what I mean? So I really want you to like give God your yes sooner than later, because you just do not know how powerful you are.
So I want to say, going back to what you said, when you was like, you didn't know where I was and you had a strong connection with Christa. When we was younger, I kind of felt alone, because, and then it kind of transitioned to when we got older too, because I would like see people and they'll be like, your last name Dudley too? Like, you a sister to Sparkle and Christa? Like, a lot of people, and it was a lot of people didn't really know it was three of us. They only knew it was two.
I never knew that.
And yeah, I used to feel alone a little bit at home. And I also felt like I was basically like keeping the family afloat. Like, you was the protector and Christa was your shadow. Izzo was too young. So, you know, I was cooking and I was cleaning, and I was also trying to like making sure like the house stayed together in a way. But also I felt like I was getting overlooked. I wasn't really seen. I think that's what made me cling to my daughter's dad more, because, you know, y'all had each other. Izzo was too young. I was just by myself. I needed somebody there, so I was clinging to him. But, you know, when it didn't work out with him, prayer was all I had. And I told y'all this before. Prayer was the only thing I could think to do. If I wasn't praying, then I was talking to myself. So I would just talk to God, and he would talk back.
Why you never said said anything to us?
Can I go?
I don't know.
Why you get the car cup?
Because Christa was not letting me leave her.
Listen.
I think I tried.
And what, you got a rejection? Because I don't remember that.
She was
Mommy would not let me go.
Really?
Yeah. I think I feel like I tried. But then also, like, I didn't like being around people. Like, I can pick people energy. So where y'all would go, I would sit back and I'll analyze people. You know what I'm saying? And people would just look like, what's wrong with her? But I would know how a person is before y'all would. And I didn't like that, because when I see something happening, I'll see it before y'all do. And I'll be like, oh, I don't like her, or oh, he, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you the protector, you're the oldest one, but who was the fighter? Oh, okay. Me.
Girl, what?
Me. I was the one protecting. Like, I was the fighter. Like, I would see something happening.
Christa,
you know. Now, you know I would fight y'all battles.
Girl, what?
You...
I don't remember that.
Sparkle.
Yeah. You be... No. You will go into the situation.
Because where was you at when we had that fight in the armory? You was not there.
Yeah, because I had just had a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, you want me to fight that battle too?
No. Who had you at the time, JL?
Yeah.
JL, okay. Because I was about to say, you was not there.
Yes. It definitely is like that.
You would try to be the mediator. Let's talk this out. Let's
I don't never talk.
No, we don't need to do that. We need to beat them up.
No, I never do that. I never talk. I told y'all I don't like talking. That's why when Sparkle had that fight on Dewey, and then when you had that fight, they came to Bobby's house, and then I got suspended from school. Yo, y'all. But what I'm saying is,
well, you had to hold it together.
And it's so crazy because most of all my fights that I had, it wasn't because of me.
Don't even do that. Don't even do
it. It wasn't. I don't got no people that don't like me. I was just to myself. But what I'm saying is I don't let nobody bother y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I knew, sitting back, I was alone, but I wasn't lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still had my sisters. I still had my little brother. But, it was just when it was time for Bo to come, okay, now you see me. Now you know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
So what you calling yourself? The what? Like, what you calling yourself? Because now you see me, now you don't. Like, what is you, the ghost? Because, girl, what?
No, I can't take that name. That's Jasmine name.
So, yeah, I'm going to need you to...
Sparkle, you acting like... You really acting like
you acting like you was like the big bad wolf around here. You just came and
blowing everybody's doors down.
No, because I didn't like that. I didn't like to be called that because I am a soft-hearted person.
Yeah,
but that's who I was. Like when anybody would, I don't know why you sit here acting when people with our family, even family members, would want to like fight people, they would call me.
Family, y'all watching
so
this.
Y'all call me the B one. You sitting here saying they will call you because you want to fight. Yeah, just want to hit on people.
I don't talk.
Bo, please. Oh my
is
God.
active, but okay.
I'm really not though. I'm really not.
Christa. Oh, okay. Christa. See, Christa though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But one thing that I can say is I am happy that God, when I surrendered my life to God, God took control of me. Because this is something I will say to y'all, and I will say this to y'all that I haven't said to y'all yet. Because I did go through a time where, I would drink every day. Like, every day. And we all know that when I would drink, I would turn into a different person. Where I would fight and argue. And looking back now, I can openly apologize to y'all because I was thinking the other day, like, a lot of the times when we stopped talking, it was because I started it. You know what I mean? And me being y'all older sisters, I should have been like, more of the protective one and not want to fight against y'all because I know y'all love me. You know what I mean? But I was going through my own problems at the time, and what I knew is the bottle, and what I knew was to drink. And then when I drink, it made me want to fight. And then instead of me actually fighting against what I'm going through in that moment, I would fight and argue with y'all. So, you know, I apologize to y'all about it. But when we was on the phone the other day and you were talking to James and you were saying, like, you know, normally you wouldn't call me the other day when you got into the incident that you were in, and you called me, and I was, you know, I felt in that moment I was being that older sister. I was being that protector, calming you down because you were like so hyped about what was going on in that moment, and I was able to calm you down. Had I been that other person that I was before, you probably wouldn't have called me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you were expressing that to James, like, you know, what you felt and how you felt in that moment about, you know, the change.
I was telling him that it's crazy how God works, because a little bit before you transitioned to who you are now, I was praying hard because we had a really bad falling out. And I was so hurt about what happened between us because it was drinking involved, and it was so unnecessary, and we had to fight, and I didn't want to fight you. You know what I'm saying? You my sister, but again, I don't like when people put their hands on me, and you kept on taunting. This girl kept taunting me, and I had to fight her. But when anybody that called me,
sorry, can I just cut you off in one moment? You said, "Hit me again," and I hit you again. What do you mean?
Cause you hit me the first time with no. Why are you hitting me? Why you putting your hands on me?
I mean, you invited me to hit you again. No. You said hit me again.
Because
that's what I did.
The first hit, I had to let you get it because you're my sister. So in that moment, I'm thinking, okay, if I say hit me again, she ain't gonna do it. She gonna understand that you doing something that you ain't supposed to do, and you went off and hit me again. So then I had to show you. You need to keep your hands to yourself. But what I'm saying is, I was so hurt because you wasn't in your right mind. But I had to, like, I don't know, I was just hurt. And everybody I talked to, like Venetia, Unique, Ariel, I was telling them, like, I ain't want to have to fight her, but she ain't about to just keep on hitting me. I was hurt. I was crying. I was hurt. And I just went home and I prayed. I'm like, yo, God, please turn it around for her. And we ain't speak for what, like 6 months. And I was just like, please, Lord, something need to give, because that was unnecessary. That was just for no reason, really.
I heard about it.
It was ridiculous.
No, I wasn't talking to y'all then.
Yeah.
No.
I did call, but you did get on the phone. You was on the phone because Ariel called you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Unique called me.
Right.
Unique called me, and then Ariel got on the phone, and then
when you was,
Bo was on the phone.
She was talking junk to you, right?
Yeah, she started talking junk to me, and it was like, don't start with me because
I don't know.
I had nothing to do with that.
So me and you didn't talk, and then me and Christa, I don't think we talked after that.
She wasn't talking to both of us for something.
Neither one of y'all.
Why?
No, she really wasn't talking to you.
What did I do to you?
But I was talking to you because you was affiliated with her.
Right.
So.
Right. It was you though that she wasn't talking to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't even do nothing to you.
It was
you
something.
just used to find reasons not to talk to people. That was your problem.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You used to find reason.
Yeah. I prayed long and hard for you to for a change. And then when you came out and you said it, I'm like, oh shoot. God really. At first, no, when you told us that you was going to, and then it wasn't like fully a transition, I was like, But then when you really transitioned, I was like, oh, okay. This is something that God answered prayers, because he yeah.
Girl, please, the way you prayed for me long and hard, pray for yourself long and hard.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
Girl, I do.
Thank you for your prayers, though, because they definitely worked, and God came and worked a wonder on me. You know what I'm saying? So is there anything that you guys want to say to our listeners about, like, if you have an out with your family members or siblings? Because, life is really too short. And now that I look back on the things that we went through and the outs that we had, it really was petty and simple. And I thank God none of us left this earth without, making up or just letting things go. You know what I mean? So is there anything that you guys want to say to our listeners or encourage them? Any encouraging words you want to say?
Well, I would say, like, if, it's you and your siblings, whether it's you and your siblings, other family member, just let it go. Because, like you said, life is short. And then you just never know. Like, you spend time mad at that family member, and then it's like you going through hell. And you want to pick up the phone, you want to call them, but it's like you don't, because you still mad at them for something petty. And like, all I know is my sisters. Like, yeah, so when I was like mad at y'all and the stuff that I was going through, and it was like, oh my God, if I pick up the phone and call my sisters, they gonna beat this girl up. But no, for real, like, it was just like, I would think like that, like, I'm sitting here going through this alone, and I don't have nobody, and I don't have nobody because I'm sitting here still mad at them. And I just need to let it go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, like I said, life is just short. I know it's nothing, it's nobody like my sisters. So I would just say to y'all, like, if it's a situation with a family member, like, just let it go. Like, give it to God, and y'all come together and just be a family. Yeah. Like, that's what it's about. Like,
yeah. Bo, you got anything you want to encourage?
I would say, how people be like, blood is thicker than water. I really think deeply about that, because when you're doing communion and stuff like that, you symbolize the drinking of the blood of Jesus or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's nobody like your family. You don't have to like deal with people in a way, but at the end of the day, they still your family. They who you can call on for, if you're going through something. And I had to learn that. I had to realize that, when I was going through stuff alone, it's still to this day, I have a big issue with asking for help. But I know when you know that you got family that's really there to ride and die for you, use them. Yeah. Call on them. Just like you'll call on Jesus, know that you got family around and there for you. And like Christa said, just let it go. Don't hold grudges. Because at the end of the day, if God forbid somebody died tomorrow, you're going to be hooping and hollering at the casket, and there's nothing you can do about it to get them back. Yeah. So I don't live regrets of, doing something that I should have done and not doing it.
Yes. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing this episode with me of It Won't Always Be Like This. And this here and us sitting right now in this moment is proof that it won't always be like this, because, having our outs and everything, and now we are here today. And I just was telling you, Christa, that I don't want us to ever get to that point where we're not talking to each other, or, we're on the out and everything like that. Like, I just want us to stick close. Not saying we won't ever have an argument, but I want us to have an argument if we're going to have one. And by the end of the day, we, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's done and over with. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on with me on this episode of It Won't Always Be Like This. And this is actually proof that it won't always be like this, because even throughout our distances, our disagreements and things like that, we're able to come together as sisters in unity together, and allow people to, get a glimpse of us and how we are today, and not, bicker with each other. Yeah. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching and helping me grow this community. And until then, I want you to ask a friend. Have you heard Sparkle speak?